20 days into the month of February 2024. Welcome to News Check. This is another day where we have a jammed-packed show for you. We'll be discussing matters of forged academic papers. The surge has increased, and of course relevant institutions such as the Public Service Commission, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI, as well as institutions of higher learning have been alerted to such cases and currently are being investigated. We have a panel that will be discussing that particular matter. Also, we'll be conversing what is the latest on the state of the nation, especially given that today is day 2 of the Naivasha cabinet retreat. Yesterday, President William Ruto had a chat with the members of parliament, given that they will be sitting this afternoon to be conversing the Affordable Housing Bill 2023 that is set to bring a framework of the housing levy. And then finally, we'll be conversing matters of religion in our end of this particular program. That is what we have in store for you. Welcome to the show once more. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. My co-anchor this morning is Brian Muraru. And of course, this is the conversation we'll be having. Also, we'll be keeping an eye on what is happening on the country in terms of what will be in our docket this morning. We do have an ICT committee on broadcasting that will be happening at the Guest House. We'll be going there live, as well as day 2 in Naivasha for the cabinet retreat. Our senior political affairs reporter John Jacob Kiria is on that bit. And we start with our show this morning. We'll be conversing about this incidences of forged academic certificates that have been on the surge. You do remember last week where the Public Service Commission had a briefing at the footsteps of Commission House. They invited EACC, DCI to investigate this particular matter. That's why in the House this morning we do have a senior lecturer from Kenyatta University, Dr. Benjamin Koskei. Doc, welcome. Karibu sana. And then on his left is FCPA John Lolkoloi, OGW, the Director of Ethics and Leadership at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Director, welcome once more.
Thank you.
Maybe let me start with you, Director. Given that you are there, you're present at Commission House, these incidences, even EACC have been looking into it, especially last year you had over 172 cases of them. So where are we in terms of ensuring that we curb this menace?
Thank you, Mr. Abdiaziz, and good morning all our viewers. It is true, as a commission, we have been investigating these matters of academic forgeries. To date, we have had about 161 cases of allegations on forged academic certificates. And out of these 161 cases, we have completed about 26 cases. 20 are currently ongoing in court, and 6 of them have actually been finalized in court, with accused persons convicted of various offenses, including forgery of documents, making false documents, uttering false documents, fraudulent acquisition of public property, and the other cases are ongoing. Yes.
And let me come here to Doc. Doc, you serve in an institution that is one of the largest actually in the country, Kenyatta University. As a lecturer and as a tutor, if you hear such cases are being investigated, not just by EACC and other institutions, does it worry you?
Thank you, Abdi, for the invite to your studio. I want to start by saying it is quite unfortunate that this is happening now. And the mother employer is the one raising concern. The Public Service Commission did audit on the same. And I'm saying it is unfortunate because the Public Service Commission is the one employing. They are the one advertising for the job, interviewing people, and employing, and even promoting. And they are the one who are raising an alarm that they are forged certificates. So at what point did they realize that these certificates are forged? Up to an extent of inviting EACC to assist them. And they are supposed to be the one actually cross-checking during the interviews, even before inviting you for an interview. How long can the public service take to write an email to the institution to confirm the certificates? Abdi, it is unfortunate that now they are inviting the EACC, the DCI to assist them.
In investigations.
In investigation.
Yes.
And they were the one who were recruiting these people. I want to say that I think PSC are eating their own children. And it is unfortunate that they are giving EACC the work that they should have done.
But they do not have investigative mandate. That's why they invite.
But you see, they are the one recruiting.
Yes.
When you are recruiting and you are in the process of shortlisting,
Yes.
why can't you write emails to the institution? How long? You write an email, confirm to us that Abdiaziz was in University of Nairobi. Confirm to us that Abdi did KCSE in this school. And then you invite the people who are, you invite the shortlisted people, and you have the document. Now you are hiring, and now you are raising an alarm as an institution. And you are giving extra work to EACC and DCI. So I think PSC, they are sleeping on their job. On the other side of the university, right now we have a watertight system of actually validating the certificates. Okay, our certificates have the QR code that you can scan within seconds, and you verify that this is a genuine certificate, this is not a genuine certificate. But remember, we are dealing with people with 21st century skills, that they can also do that. So to me, Public Service Commission should be held accountable for that.
Okay.
And going forward, I think they should be able to do their work thoroughly.
Okay. And maybe, Director, as you also respond, in terms of the forms of academic forgeries that you have been able to witness, the Commission is handling, now you have over 2,000 cases now that has been brought before you. So how do you ensure that those forms of academic forgeries are quietly addressed?
Okay, so some of the allegations that we receive, because we receive reports from individuals, some of them we also get them out of our own initiatives. So once we get those allegations, we institute a criminal investigation, which is quite a process, because what would happen, even for the cases that Public Service Commission has raised, that report to us and DCI will be an initial report, because you need to conduct proper criminal investigation. And what this will entail is to now go to those institutions where persons are said to have qualified, record statements from the specific officials in those organizations, get additional documents. We also go to the extent of getting bank statements to establish that these people actually earned out of the forged academic certificates, after which we now send the files to the DPP. But to come back to your question is that what we do is I think this year or mid last year, we actually issued an advisory to all public entities and raised an alarm about the rising cases of forgeries. And what we advised the institutions were that they need to undertake due diligence, because I do agree with him. How is it that people are getting themselves employed and yet you have institutions and committees that are supposed to vet? But maybe to be fair to PSC, I think we need to commend them, because when this issue was raised, they ordered an audit, a verification to all MDAs, and they have gotten an initial report, something that they will need to continue to do. So for us, what we have done is to give them advisories. We also investigate cases that come to us. Where we find evidence is sufficient, we arraign them in court, and we also institute cases in court to recover the amounts that have been earned as a result of forged academic certificate. Fourthly, as soon as we charge an official in court, the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act provides that somebody should be suspended on half duty, and I mean half salary, until the case is determined. So we also write to the institutions and tell them that we have charged so and so, you need to suspend them from duty. The other bit that we've been doing, although with a bit of reluctance from public institutions, under the Leadership and Integrity Act, it's a requirement that when you are seeking a public office, you should fill a declaration and submit the names to us. So once we get those names, we also provide information which is in our custody. For example, somebody may have been charged in court, or we are currently investigating academic forgeries against them. So those are some of the measures that we've taken. Yes.
And of course, we'll be also coming back to the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which any public officer ought to uphold and adhere to.
Yes.
Maybe let's go to Daktari here. Daktari, we're talking about the sanctity of a certificate itself. Have we lowered its standards because it could have an impact on the education system? Because out there, one of our education systems is one of most vigorous and rigorous systems in the world. So what impact will it have on our education system totally?
The impact that will have is that, number one, as you said, it lowers the reputation of our institution. It also lowers the credibility of the university and the students.
Yes.
But I want to say that as universities in Kenya, especially in Kenyatta University, we are doing what it takes to ensure that our certificates are credible. And as the director said, going forward, I think the menace will be wiped away. So, as you say, it actually lowers the credibility and the standards. But it is not only in Kenya. You hear the politicians are having certificates from, let's say, India, or a known destination. So it is not only in Kenya, okay? But the EACC, I think they are working, and the DCI, they are working to see that the menace is capped. And going forward, I want to encourage the Public Service Commission, together with the EACC and DCI, to work hand in hand, and especially the PSC, to ensure that those who are employed have credible certificates, have genuine certificate. It starts from the PSC and even County Public Service Board. If we start from there, I think going forward, we are going to have genuine and credible certificates going forward.
And of course, Director, he has raised something that is very pertinent. Even the Commission itself, back ahead of 2022, before the election, you made public a report that you handed over to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, raising credibility of the education that some of those leaders who are eyeing those positions do not qualify for. Going forward, are we expecting such kind of reports to be taken seriously so that we can prevent, it acts like a buffer, you don't allow those individuals who do not qualify for those positions taking up such positions?
Thank you very much. One of the challenges we have had in implementing Chapter 6 is Article 99 and 193 of our Constitution. Those two articles talk about elective positions, and they provide that somebody is disqualified if they are found to have misused or abused a public or state office. That is one of the disqualifications. But just right below it, it says that somebody is not disqualified until they have exhausted all their appeal procedures. So just like you've mentioned, in 2022, we actually flagged out 241 individuals. Some of them actually had forged academic certificates. Some had already been charged in court. Some were already convicted, but they had appealed. But when IEBC got that report, based on those provisions of Article 99 and 193, that says that somebody is not disqualified until they have exhausted all possibility of appeal or revision of that sentence, those people are allowed to contest. So in terms of going forward, those are some of the provisions that we think we need to talk about them as a country, so that we do not, on one hand, appear to want to implement Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity, And then there are also certain restrictions or impediments. Yes.
And of course, Doc, you just heard what the director is saying. It talks about the integrity of a person, not just a public officer, but the morality of a man. But as tutors, you're not obligated to teach integrity.
Yeah.
You're either born with it or you're even taught so that you can be able to be an upstanding member of the society. What are we teaching the next generation if they see you can fake it to make it?
You see, Abdi, there is a lot of inequalities in terms of job opportunities. That the higher the qualification, the higher you get the job. So people tend to forge a certificate so that he can get a job. Issues of law and morality. We do teach morals in the university. And if you check sometimes, somebody will see, I better forge a certificate and survive than not to forge and die. So there is moral dilemma here, okay? I better forge certificate and survive with my family and get a job and survive and go on than not forging certificate and die with my family. So there is a moral dilemma there, okay? Should you follow the law? Because if you forge certificate, the EACC will come for you. And they'll take you to court, they will sue you, and you can be convicted. The other side is the moral issue. What will happen if I die of hunger? What will happen if my family die of hunger?
Doc, are we not teaching people
I better do what?
To breach those rules that are set in place
So I'm saying,
so that they can make it in life?
there is moral dilemma here, you see? So somebody will see, I better steal, I better forge the certificate and survive, rather than not to forge, and what will people say if my family die? Yeah? So I better risk and get a job and get a loan and start a business. If EACC comes, my family will be having a business to run. I'll be jailed. There is no problem. Because you see, these guys, they have caught many people. Okay? Many of them have resigned. Many of them have been working with the government for a very long time. Okay? They have acquired loan. Okay? You hear him saying about the bank statement. They have acquired loan. They have started business. Now they are coming. They want to take them to court.
Yes.
They are already established. I better advise them that we start from here and move forward rather than looking backward.
Okay.
How
because
can
you see, even the
people?
courts agreed with institutions such as the EACC, where they made a judgment.
Yeah.
If you are caught red-handed, you will be surcharged. It doesn't
is true.
matter how many years you have worked for.
Yes.
You will return that money because you acquired it under false pretense. So, Doc, what you're saying is that we should just seek the shortcuts means so that
But
we can
you
make
see,
it in life.
You see, Abdi, the courts follow the law. They don't follow morals.
Yes.
Okay? They don't look at morality issues. Okay? They follow the law. On the other side, they want to recover the money.
Yes.
Let's give an example. Abdi, you have been working with KBC. You forged the certificate, for example. You have been working with them. After 10 years, the EACC come and say, Abdi forged the certificate.
Yes.
But you have been working for the KBC. You have been working. So I better say that we start from here and move forward, rather than telling you to bring back the money that you earn, but you work. You work for KBC, okay? Who will take that money? But you have been working. You should have been somewhere. So
It
they
is the
should
commission
also
to take it. That's
Yeah.
why the courts directed them to ensure that that money, even if I've worked for KBC, let's say, for example, for 10 years,
Yeah.
that's why even in KBC itself, we had an inquisition from the Public Service Commission
Yes.
where we had to verify our academic credentials.
Yeah.
That is the exercise that was launched last week.
Yeah.
So you see, Prof, the conundrum is, yes, I do get your point in morality, but in terms of ensuring that our next learners
Yes.
do not get to see if these other guys are able to make it into these higher offices, should we ensure that we do the same way so that we can make it in life?
No, I'm saying we still to start from here, going forward. Let's not look backward.
Okay.
And by the way, Abdi, who is fake? Is the certificate fake or the person who is fake? You have been working here competently. When did the EACC realize that Abdi is having fake certificates? Is Abdi incompetent in KBC? He is not. He is competent. He is doing his work. It is only that, you see, there is academic learning and there is experiential learning. Through experience, you learn the art of work. Okay? So the certificate is fake, but the person is no longer fake. He is experienced. He is competent. So I want to suggest that we start from here and move forward. Let's not look backward.
Okay. Still debatable. Okay, as you responded, Director,
Yes.
In terms of not just the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, we're talking about the issue of morality, because we have younglings who are in universities who are eyeing these positions that we're in right now. As the Commission, what can you advise them?
Okay, thank you. What I want to, maybe just one word to respond to Doc, is that it is said crime does not expire.
Yes.
And what we are trying to do as Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and actually all the governance institution, and it should be the responsibility of all Kenyans, is to go back to the values. We want to uphold the values of honesty and integrity and fairness, so that it is true there are challenges that may have driven people to these issues of forged academic certificates. But the consequences are dire, because somebody with fake academic certificates, you might get somebody is working in a hospital. He has qualifications of a doctor, but he has not gone to the medical school. Now, as you go there to get services, what do you expect? What about an engineer who has fake academic certificates going to design roads, going to design bridges? And these bridges and these roads are going to be used by citizens. So it's such a serious issue that has to be dealt with. And just like you've stated in one of the landmark court rulings recently, the court actually said that once you get employed through forged academic certificate, that employment is illegal, and what you've earned all those years should be recovered from the date, the first date you got employed until the date of separation. And we have a case where the court actually allowed us to recover 3.1 million shillings, which was what somebody had earned in a county for the entire of that period. So like you rightly said, we need to be a country that upholds ethics, that uphold integrity and the rule of law. Because if we were to say that, you know, these people have problems, they need to fend for their families, and just say the end justify the means, then we will not have a country. A country is built on honesty, it's built on integrity, and probably now the other issues, the other underlying issues are the lack of morality and ethics is also what now will lead people to do more serious crimes, like embezzlement of public funds, fraudulent acquisition, and that will have a ripple effect, because then once those funds are stolen, then we will not even have money for development, for industries, and to create employment for the youth. But one thing that we cannot do and we cannot allow is shortcuts, because we, like somebody said, if you want to destroy a country, you don't even need the bombs, you just need to mess their education system. So the consequences are dire. This country has always been known as the best country in human resource. We are a net exporter of human resources out there. And these issues, now when they come up, we are going to jeopardize our positions out there to get employed, and even for our students to join universities abroad. Persons with fake academic certificates, when you have them here in the country, they secure employment in a country where there is unemployment, and then the ones who have genuine academic certificates will not get options. So what message again will we be sending to our youth? That there is no need to study, because you can as well go and manufacture your own documents and get employed. So that is what we are doing as a commission to promote ethics and integrity, just as we also investigate the actual cases and recover the monies. And luckily the courts have agreed. that employment you secure, it doesn't matter. You can even work for 20 years. The court said it doesn't matter that you performed the duties of that office. The employment was based on an illegality. Yes.
Yeah, Doc, as you also respond, Director has raised a pertinent issue. You know, when you go outside the country, you have sought academic papers or academic opportunities in universities established out there. You know, Kenyans, most of the friends that I've worked with, most of the colleagues that I've been able to talk to, you don't require to sit for an examination to enter those institutions.
Yes.
Now, don't you think if these issues persist, those people will be expected to sit for examinations so that they can prove they are qualified to enter those institutions?
Thank you, Abdi. Before that, you know, our system, especially the 844 system, dictates your career.
Yes.
After Form 4, I'm very sure, even you, Abdi, you wanted to do other careers other than journalism. Maybe I'm wrong, but 90% of our students in Form 4, they end up not doing what they wanted to do. So that was the problem. But when you are choosing a career, the first thing is the passion and the talents that you have.
Yes.
The passion. That is why you see somebody will forge a certificate and end up doing medicine. Like there was a doctor in Nandi County who was performing a surgery, and he did not go to any school. That is passion. There was a lawyer in town here. I think when a director, they are still
talking to him. Yeah, he has been taken to court. And
Yes.
he has been arrested numerous
but that
times.
is passion.
Yes.
You see?
But you see, he paid the price at the end of the day.
No, the case is still ongoing. Okay? But I'm talking about the passion. Okay? So I think the change from 844 to CBC system will cure all these problems. You see? You talked about going outside the country. Our system, again, is rigorous. And when you go outside the country, and even when somebody sits an exam outside the country, it is easier outside than in Kenya. Even doing a PhD outside the country, you will finish in real time, not like in Kenya, even masters. So I think going forward, we need to cure from the roots. We need to cure from public service,
I'll give you an opportunity.
Public Service Commission, and County Public Service. Okay? And leave the EACC and DCI to do other things. If we can cure from that place, because who is the complainant? The complainant is not your employer. The complainant is the Public Service Commission, and they were the one who were recruiting. Okay? So how can they come back again and say this guy is having fake papers, and they were the one who were recruiting? Leave alone the step matters employers. Okay? And I want to encourage all other employers to verify document before recruitment. Let them take time. So that we can be able to save resources. You see now the DCI and the EACC, they are using money. You hear the director saying, we are traveling to the universities. They are using money.
Yes.
Those are allowances, which the Public Service Commission and the County Public Service and all the employers could have verified before employment. Okay? That is it, Abdi.
Okay. Director?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to respond to Doc about the passion. And there's nothing wrong in anybody having a passion to undertake any course, medicine, law, engineering. But what we are saying is that you need to have the right foundation, the foundation of honesty and integrity. Even if you did not qualify, say, to study medicine or to study law or whichever course, there are always chances to do some upgrading. Because what will then happen is that if it is based on dishonesty and lack of integrity, once you get to those positions, what else will you do? Or what else will you not do? And for Public Service Commission, I agree with him that the responsibility of recruiting agencies, because PSC oversees government entities, and it is fair that they have realized this problem is persisting and they have asked for the audit. And what we also hope as EACC is that going forward, let's say from 2024, we should not have any other case of anybody recruited with forged academic certificates. Because what will happen is that if entities did not have mechanisms or structures, like you heard him say that probably it might just take an email to find out if so-and-so holds this qualification. Going forward, what we'll be advising is that recruiting agencies, before you give the formal employment to a person, or at least before confirmation, you should be able to verify the academic certificates so that now we only deal with historical issues, and then we also pass this message. So we don't expect, unless it is a case of impunity or irresponsibility, that from 2024 we are raising these issues. Recruiting agencies need to verify these academic certificates. Yes.
On top of that, Abdi,
Okay.
there is a Kenya National Qualification Authority. What is their work? Okay? So let the PSC liaise with the Kenya National Qualification Authority. Before even reaching EACC and DCI, let them collaborate. Okay? And I want to urge the government to really fund the Kenya National Qualification Authority, because that is the body mandated to regulate, okay, the qualification of all the employees. Yes.
Okay, and once they note that, let's say, for example, Abdiaziz Hashim has forged an academic paper, don't you think that is a crime? And that is where EACC needs to come in?
No, you see, the PSC again, their work is also to hire and fire. They can also do disciplinary, okay? So I don't expect the EACC to come in immediately. I expected the PSC and other recruiting agencies or bodies to call you, to summon you, and discuss with you about the certificates, and do internal disciplinary procedures.
Okay.
Instead of calling the EACC, calling the DCI. Just imagine the EACC and the DCI are coming to your home to frog march you at night, okay, with your children, okay? Why can't the KBC call you to a disciplinary committee and fire you slowly? Okay?
I'm coming back to that. You'll respond to that, Director. Yes. I'll tell him why you're not supposed to get fired before crimes are supposed to be taken on you, criminal charges. Even the Public Service Commission talked about it. We're coming to that particularly. We're talking about issues of forged academic papers and what impact it will have on our education system, following that particular report that was read by the Public Service Commission. Now, I want to come back to Director. Director, before we went off to Steamer Plaza, you wanted to respond, but as you respond as well, we witnessed in that particular report that you were handed over by PAC, institutions such as the Kenyatta National Hospital, the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital were on top of that list.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the grave danger, because we are saying being in possession of forged academic certificates is not as easy as probably we want to look at it. We are looking at people occupying key positions, and very sensitive ones for that matter. Because you can have, like I said before, a doctor who is supposed to perform surgery, but he actually did not go to any medical school, but because he had those papers and he had been hired, he's going to do those surgeries. And you can imagine the repercussions. So those are the things that we are raising, and because Doctor had actually talked about, you know, what should be done. I want to say this, that the law is there to protect as well as to punish.
Yes.
And that is why the law provides that you are not allowed to make false documents or to utter false documents. It's a crime.
Yeah.
It is in our laws under the Penal Code. Under the Leadership and Integrity Act, under Section 30, it also says that public and state officers are not supposed to forge documents. So other than the laws, fraudulent acquisition of public property, because once you get a salary from employment based on forged academic certificates, that is fraudulent acquisition of public property.
Yes.
Now we have even gone as a country to have the codes of conduct for public and state officers.
Yes.
So every citizen, they say that ignorance of the law is not a defense. We know, or ought to know, that there are certain actions or activities that are not allowed. So if you go ahead to do them, once the law gets up with you, then you will have to face the consequences. Yes.
Doc,
Yes.
given that now we're entering the final leg of the program, we want to infuse solutions to this particular menace that has been witnessed not just in this year but for the previous years, because this particular exercise started back in 2014 all the way to now 2024, which is a 10-year period, and of course even the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is even going beyond 2014, back in the 2000s, if you're caught up now with the law itself. We're talking about infusing such teachings in our curriculum,
Yes.
which especially for universities, it is a robust. When it comes to humanities, courses that we are required to take so that we can pass classes or move a grade higher or move to a second year or a third year. Now, as an educationist, should this be enforced not just in your institution but any other institution as well? Because it could even turn out as a source of employment, because institutions such as the EACC or the DCI or the PAC could set aside a department that solely deals with that.
Yes.
Don't you think that is an avenue?
It is true, Abdi. We need to do public awareness on the issues of forgery. Okay, if, as you say, the EACC and the DCI could do this public awareness to people, to students, talking to students in the university, I think it will do work. For those who forge certificates and they are working in the, as you say, Moi teaching, and even Kenyatta National Hospital, you say, my proposal is that we need to do mentorship. Those doctors who are performing surgeries, okay, I propose that we do some mentorship. Because as I said, there is academic learning and there is experiential learning. You learn through experience. Abdi, you have seen some watangazaji out there. They did not go to any class, but they are in the village and they are in TikTok. Wanatangaza kuliko watangazaji wenyewe. You see, those
but
guys.
You see, those are not harmful courses.
You
but
see, no, I'm just giving an example.
Leading a Kenyatta National Hospital and
I'm just giving an example.
and teaching a referral hospital, Doc.
I'm just giving an example.
Would you even take, let's say, for example, your family member to somebody like that?
But you see, these guys who are working in the hospital, it is only the EACC that they have realized they forged the certificates. In their place of work, they are very competent. So that is why I'm saying these guys, they need mentorship. Like the lawyer who was around here,
yes,
they just need mentorship. Okay? We just need to change our mentality and change the way we think. Okay? Instead of taking them to court, these guys need some mentorship. Those doctors who forge certificates, I know some of our students who did not, who failed in some units, okay, and they were discontinued. They went across to Uganda. I know one who went to Rwanda to do medicine, and he's a dentist right now. How can you follow that guy and say you forged that you did not qualify? Okay. Okay. These guys need mentorship, and we need to change our mentality as a country. If you go outside the country, there are some people who did not go to any school, but they are very competent in the areas of specialization. Okay? Okay. Yes.
Okay. Director, we're entering the final stages. As you respond, give your final remarks on this issue.
Yes. Maybe just to mention to Doc when he talks about mentorship, I know he means it, but for us to have a country that upholds the rule of law, a country that has human skills that are competent and are of honesty, for us the kind of mentorship we will offer them is to investigate.
Yes.
Once we find that there is sufficient evidence, yes, we will take them to court. Yes. We will institute recovery for the salaries that they have earned. And once they are convicted, they are barred from public office for 10 years from the date of conviction. And that will be a good mentorship. But just to maybe to conclude is to say that we need to set the right message of good values to the young people and also to our workforce, that these things cannot be allowed, they cannot be entertained, and so that we can also send a message of deterrence. Once, let's say an institution with about 500 people, if they find that 20 have already been found with these forged academic certificates, it
Yes.
will send a message. The other message we want to give to the recruiting agencies is to ensure that they put in place systems to actually verify these certificates. And even for public universities, because it's not only securing employment, candidates after Form 4 are also forging their grades.
Yes.
Somebody has a D+, but they go and get a grade of B, and then they go and do certain courses. They deny those who have actually worked hard in their studies. And what we'll be asking DOC and the universities is also they strengthen their admission processes so that they actually admit the right candidates, and then we'll be able to send a message of integrity and honesty.
Okay.
Yes.
Doc, final minute.
Thank you, Abdi. I want to say that EACC, I want you to be very impartial. When you do this to small people, you also do to big people. There are parliamentarians there who forge their way, okay, to their seats. They are governors, okay? They are women reps, they are senators. So when you do this to small people, you also do to big people. And number two, I want to encourage the EACC and DCI to write to the PSC and all the recruiting agencies to be serious with their work, to do their verification before, and give them timeline that 2025 we are not dealing with the forgery of certificates.
Okay.
If we start from there, I think Abdi, we will go places.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are going to do public awareness to our institution. And as I said earlier, we have a watertight certificates, certification, especially in Kenyatta University. And we don't expect anybody to say that maybe our universities are giving out certificates which are not genuine.
Okay.
Otherwise, Abdi, thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Okay.
We'll come again.
Thank you, Daktari. That is Dr. Benjamin Koskei, Senior Lecturer at Kenyatta University, and the man at the end is FCPA John Lolkoloi, OGW, the Director of Ethics and Leadership, EACC. Thank you so much. Just hold on for a bit, and thank you for making time for us this morning. And I want to take you, dear viewers, to Naivasha in Nakuru County, where we do understand day 2 of the Naivasha Cabinet Retreat still ongoing with, of course, the MPs were addressed by President William Ruto yesterday, urging them to pass the Affordable Housing Bill and to consider passing it in the coming days. But I do understand that we do have our senior political reporter, that is John Jacob Curia, who is on that particular bit. John, good morning, and if you can hear me, what can we expect? I do understand we'll be going there live in just a few, but we need to take a short commercial break, then we'll be back, going back to Naivasha. Don't go too far.